All right, let's get started. All right, ladies, I hope everybody has had a great weekend and thank you so much for jumping on. If we have not officially met, my name is Christy Connard. I have been a coach for 6.5 years now, which is just mind blowing in so many ways. And I'm so excited to be co hosting this call tonight with Amanda, who you will hear from in a little bit. And I'm just so excited because, like I said, I'm like an old schooler, nearly like an OG, I feel like. And then Amanda is seriously like brand new, 3 weeks in, and she is just like blowing it up out of the gate. And I just love that you have the opportunity to hear from like both ends of the spectrum to know like if anybody else has accomplished anything in this business, I want you to see that as a place as like so oftentimes we have that fear-based mindset. But if somebody else can do it, then you freaking can too. And I just want to give you that reminder tonight. So whether you feel like by the time we get off this dang call that like, holy crap, like, or maybe that's not for me, but I just want you to feel invigorated and empowered. So whatever it is, your heart and your passion and your purpose is being called towards, like you just go all in with that and prove to yourself that you're capable and worthy of anything you set your heart and your mind to. So just a little bit of my background. Like when I first said yes to coaching, it was a hot mess express and still is, but I literally was clueless. I didn't know what I was doing. I had done a little bit of research because I was that type of person. Like, no, I put it off for months. I was like, no, no, penny pincher. I'm not investing the money. I didn't understand the value, but I was just like the silent stalker watching in the background until there was this post that somebody did about the new program at the time, which is funny because it was like the Insanity Max 30. If y'all remember, you guys, I hate cardio. And Shantae is way too much for me. And but I don't know. I guess I was just like in that deep dark place at that time. And I was just like, okay, whatever, let's go. I'm ready to be pushed. I'm ready to be challenged. Let's go. So I just did, and I jumped 2 feet in, and I was just ready and desperate for a change. So I was willing to make sacrifices. I was willing to fail forward, and Lord knows I did. I can look back and I'm like, holy crap, I was a walking billboard. It's so embarrassing to even think about the things that I said and that I posted. But like I led with so much heart and passion and determination. Like none of that mattered. Like your story, your personality, like that is how people are going to relate to you, not by some post or some graphic that you share. Like it's just about being real and true and authentic to you. And that's the beauty of coaching is that there is no cookie cutter template of you like trying to post what I post. Like if you do entertainment, great. If you see something I share, feel free, steal it, share it. But if it's not true and authentic to who you are, then by all means don't do it because people are gonna know that it's not. Like they can feel when you talk, when you post. Like I tell this story to my coaches all the time. I'm very much a expressive person and a very emotional person. I carry my heart on my sleeve. And when people just like say hey to me and there's like no caps and no exclamation, I'm like, are you not even freaking excited to talk to me? So people can read through that and however we're posting or talking to them. But you guys, I was desperate. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick and tired of working long, tireless hours as a full time nurse at the time just to barely make ends meet. Like, and legit, when I signed up to be a coach, it was on a wing and a prayer, like, Dear Lord, please let my card not get declined. All jokes aside, I'm just laying it out there. But I was like, whatever I got to do, I'm going to do to get us out. Because if I just thought about, if you really dig deep sometimes and you're like, if I stayed on the path that I am right now, 5 years from now, where would I be? And that thought was so gut wrenching down deep in my stomach. I was like, I cannot continue working and slaving away, missing out on all the things with my family, knowing that I have big and better goals and I desire so much more freedom than what I've been given. Like, I just had to find a way. And I knew that if I truly desired that change in my life, I had to be that change. I couldn't just keep waiting and wishing and hoping for more. I had to freaking make it happen. So I just wanted to go through a few things that like have realized along these 6.5 years because truly when I went into it I had these big goals and visions and dreams because I saw other people and what was possible. And did it seem like it was impossible to me? Yes, little introverted me from small town Alabama, like, who the heck? Who did I think I was with these big goals? And how was I ever going to make it happen? Not even having a social media. I created one. So, like I said earlier, I could silently stalk everybody else, posting, taking selfies with no makeup and then being on videos. Like, no, like you could have paid me money and I would have betted against myself. But here's some things that I've learned along this journey. Truly, for the first time in my entire life, when did I sign up? I was like 24, 25 at the time. I had lived my entire life just trying to please everyone around me. I'm very much, I can't, like I said earlier, I carry my heart on my sleeve. I am a people pleaser. And if you're here, it's probably because you want to help others and you're constantly giving and going and doing. And that's great. We wear all the many hats. But in doing that, we use like the self neglect as like, oh, I just don't have time. Or, oh, I've got this and this and this. But let's just cut that to the chase real quick. Just because I think this is something we all need that constant reminder of. We all have the exact 24 hours in any given day. We have the power to choose how we invest that time. And I can only hope and pray that every single one of us can find just 30 minutes a day to better ourselves. Like people say all the time, oh, since, because for those of you who don't know my story, we adopted 4 kids this past year. And we're like, I just didn't think you would still do it once you got the 4 kids, going from 0 to 4 overnight. And I'm like, it's the direct opposite. My kids are my why. They are why I show up to be the best that I can. Not only does it keep my sanity halfway in check, but it like helps me to show them like self care is important. I want them to want to work out with me. I want them to make healthier choices when they're eating and just know, like my daughter, I want her to know that she's beautiful and my boys are capable of anything that they set their mind to. And it starts with us. We can tell them, and we just talked about this on our team call this week, like you're capable of anything, but if our actions are not in direct reflection of that, what do you think that they're going to feel? And it's the fact of what our actions show of what they're going to catch on to, you guys. So we have to lead with that and show them, from a leadership role that they are capable and that we're chasing our dreams. We can't be a hypocrite per se and be like, oh, you're capable of anything you want to do. But then we're like over here, like, oh, it's not worth it. It's just not meant to be. It's not for me. I'm not good enough. She's got it easier. She's got a bigger following. I'm just not put together enough. I'm just hot mess. We tell ourselves we all have that mean girl mentality in our head, but we just have to tell her to shut it and be in control of what we're allowing into our hearts and our minds. And that's going to be a direct reflection of the actions that we take. So when I first started this, it was truly learning for the first time in my life that I was worthy and deserving of a happy life. I didn't have to continue to settle for feeling less than what I knew I deserved. Like it was hard for me, struggling with insecurities and anxiety and depression and all that for so many years. But then I knew somewhere, very deep within, like there has to be more to life than what I've been giving. And I knew that if I wanted that to happen, then I had to make some scary choices. And going back to what I said earlier, the fear of remaining the same 5 years from now scared me way worse than taking a fear of like jumping in and taking a leap into the fear of the unknown and risking and possibly failing, because at least then how's the saying go? It's like I can say like even if I tried and know I gave it my best, then at least I know the worst feeling is regret and being like, well, what if I would have took a chance on what was possible? I refuse to get 10 years down the road and be like, man, I wonder what life would be like if I would have at least gave it a fair shot. Like, no, heck to the no. I've been way too dang long just caught up in that mindset. And they say typically people start from a place of inspiration and desperation. And while mine was a mixture of both, it was by far desperation. I could not continue to live in that cycle anymore. For two, outside of the mindset, I'm truly the healthiest version of me that I've ever been. And again, that's from the inside out. I learned to love myself, but also just taking 30 minutes a day. I've always been a gym rat per se. I grew up in softball and cheerleading, so I've always been active. That's never been the case. You would have never known that because my mindset wasn't ready. And then I would work out for 1 to 2 hours, and then I'd be like, okay, let's go binge on an entire pizza and box of donuts. So I wasn't truly healthy. I am an emotional eater, and I still am. That's not to say I'm perfect. I'm not going to come at you like that because we're all human and we all have those cravings. And Lord knows I love my donuts. I actually had some last night, if I'm being real with you. But it's all about finding that there's no such thing as balance, but like finding that harmony in our journey while we're continuing to move forward and being like it's okay to have those things and not feeling like we're depriving ourselves and then beating ourselves up when we have it. So just truly learning to love myself, becoming healthy mentally, emotionally, physically. My marriage has grown tenfold, you guys. When I started, my husband, and we have coaches on both ends of the spectrum, he was not on board. Like I said, we did not have the money. He had seen me start and stop so many things. And I was like, you know what? Just give me 30 days. And I promise you, I will make back my initial investment. This is where you can insert the legal disclaimer. There's no level of success is guaranteed for coaches. It's up to you, your hard work, your diligence, your skill, your consistency and willingness to fail forward, like we talked about. But I made double what I invested within my first 2 weeks because as coaches, we are blessed to get paid every single week, every single Thursday. Um, and I will tell you straight up front, if I can do it, anybody can do it, you guys, because introverted, hot mess, clueless, didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, dang it, let's go. Like I knew that I had to share my journey because I was so sick and tired of being caught up in that hamster wheel, just starting something and starting over, starting something and starting over. Because I was that hard-headed person that's like, oh, I'm doing my own thing. I got my crap all together. We probably all been there. But after a while, we need each other, you guys. There is power and accountability and being a part of something bigger. And now, in this crazy season, with what we've been going through for almost a whole entire year now with the quarantine, we need each other. Like they say, physical distancing or however, but social. Like we shouldn't be socially distanced. We should be more connected than ever before. Like we need each other. Like hence why depression and anxiety. You look at all those stats, that's way higher than any COVID infection numbers. Like people need each other. But that's a whole nother talk for a whole nother day. Um, my spiritual walk has grown so much. Again, it's that inward like change. It just we're one of our vital behaviors per se is personal development. It is personal growth. Although we are in this to help others and be stronger together, like just it all comes back. Like it's just mind blowing to me how much I've grown over the 6 years. And my husband and I were actually walking and talking today, and he was like, we were talking about how I had a really good year in 2015, which was my first full year as a coach. And then he was like, Christy, but God, just think how much you've grown as a person, like over the past 5 years. And it's just, makes me feel good to know that that scary leap of faith, like that I had no clue about, has grown me as a person. Because on my business mentor call this past week, he was talking about like we could never make a single dollar in this business and be okay. But if we came into it and never impacted or inspired a single life, that's not okay. Like we want to help people. But when it goes hand in hand together, like that's a beautiful thing and a blessing that we have this opportunity. Okay, I'm getting excited, but I'm trying to speed it up so I can pass it over to Amanda because I was like under 30 minutes, under 30 minutes. Okay, again, being a part of a community, you guys, it speaks for itself. Like I know and when we have those hard times, that's when we want to climb up under a rock and go back into our shell. Like, don't. This is a judgment free zone within our groups, within our team. Because if you're struggling, I promise you, either someone else too, they've either been through what you've been through and can help you through it, or they're going to go through it in the future. And like your story can help them through it. So, in some shape, form, or fashion, we all can help each other. Like, we need each other in those hard times because nobody is perfect. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. And when we lean in and combine those things, holy crap, we are truly capable of anything. It's a beautiful thing. So, we just keep pushing each other past that comfort zone because nothing grows there. It's okay. You have to just take a deep breath and do the scary things. And that's where you're going to learn and achieve the most success. Make your mess your message, is what we say. I was, again, insert legal disclaimer, I was able to match and surpass my full time nursing income. I actually matched my nursing income within 4 months. You guys, I worked hard. I made sacrifices. I would work 12, 13-hour shifts. I would come home and work my business for probably 2-ish hours. I would stay up late. I would get little sleep. But in my heart, in my mind, I saw and I knew like these short term sacrifices are so worth the long-term reward and the goals that I have for my family. And so now, I'm able to relish in that freedom and just choosing my work hours and doing this full time and being present with my kids and taking them to all the events, which let's be real, being moms is the hardest job of anything. Um, and then being here and trying to run your own business with all the distractions, it's hard. So I will tell you that it's not, but it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done. Because even before we had kids and I was working full time as a nurse, like I missed out on all the holidays and I was like, bump this. Life is too dang short. I will not do this when my kids come home. Like my family comes first and I will do whatever I can to fight and to provide for them. And so, God willing, it has been a blessing as we've continued to grow and achieve those things. Uh, the ability to travel more. I love to travel. I've earned trips every single year through this company, completely paid for. Well, last year and this year, we did not. Thank you, COVID. But hey, I know that I did earn them, and that is the opportunity. And I'm claiming that next year we're getting those dang suckers back. But still having the financial income to provide. We just booked trips to go to Houston in May. We were going to the rodeo, and then the rodeo gets canceled. I'm like, you know what? Dang it, we're going anyways. We're getting away for the weekend, but just having that ability to go and to financially provide for my family and do those fun things. The opportunity to lock arms and share with other women what is possible for them too. Like I was just talking to a lady that had reached out. She was like, you know, a new mom. She just kind of lost herself in the whole process and just not knowing her passion and her purpose. And she had started working out and she was feeling good again. And she was like, gosh, I do. It's making such a difference. And I want to share with other women like what's possible for them. And if I can provide for my family all while doing it, like heck yeah, let's go. And so just us coming together, realizing we do have so much in common, both the good and the bad. Like it's just a beautiful thing how we can lean in and grow in that regard. So that's a little bit of my story, you guys. Brief synopsis, cliff notes. I could go on and on. I get so super passionate about coaching because it literally has changed mine and my family's life in every single shape, form, fashion. My family has big goals for 2021. That is what year it is now, right? And we're just so excited to do whatever we got to do to just make those happen. And when we can lean in together, like, it just feels so dang good to live a life on purpose for a purpose. Because for so many years I didn't, and I missed out on that. So, like, I want to like just shout from the rooftops, like it is hard. And if you come into this thinking, oh, I'm gonna be an overnight millionaire, like you have the wrong mindset. If you're in it for the long haul and like, okay, it's a continual progression and I continue to fail forward and grow, like, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit for you. But that is all I got for now. If I have time at the end, I will share some more things. But I do want to pass it over to Amanda so that you can hear both sides of the spectrum. Like I said, 6 years to 3 weeks. You guys, she's been here for 3 weeks. I want to tell you that before she passes over. And oh my gosh, I don't want to ruin any surprises she may have. So Amanda, are you able to talk?
Yeah, I'm good. Hi guys, I'm Amanda, and I've probably been a customer, or at least I've been doing Beachbody for 8 years, and I think a customer of Christie's for maybe 2 or 3 years. But regardless, like she said, I've been coaching for 3, maybe 4 weeks. So let's say a month ago I was on the same call you guys are on, and a month ago you couldn't have paid me to like say anything or even talk right now. So when she asked me to talk, I'm like, I'm gonna die. So like I'm nervous, to be honest. I'm a little nervous. I'm not as confident as she is. She's been doing it for 6 years, like she said. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So, because when I decided to go all in, this is all in. That means here I am and I'm going to talk to you guys. So, 4 weeks ago, sitting here like you guys were, and I was nervous. I had been, watching Christy's story. I've been doing the Beachbody workouts. I've been seeing results, but I kept wanting a piece of what she had. I was like, what would it be like? But I kept telling myself, oh, you can't do that. And fear just took in. Fear, fear, fear. That's all I could say. And I convinced myself for 2 years I couldn't do it. And I had a list of excuses. But in the background, I was still watching. And I was like, man, I really want to do that. So I don't know what clicked, but I agreed to do one of these phone calls like a month ago. And at the end of it, I was like, I'm going to do it. But when I decided to do it, I'm like, I got to go all in or nothing. So when I figured out my why, if you guys figure out why you're going to do it, don't forget why you're doing it and just keep doing it for that reason, because it takes patience. Like, I feel like I've been working my butt off for a month, but I have been successful. I don't know how many people I've enrolled so far, but it's been quite a few. And the community part of it, being able to have, like, we have team calls once a week. We have these push calls on Saturdays, and that part of that community makes it possible, because I don't have to do this by myself. I can ask the other coaches questions when I get stuck and lost, which I do all the time. I'm still learning. And at first, all I wanted to do was absorb information, but it overwhelmed me. So my tip, or something I learned, was just do it. Just do it. Just start posting your videos every single day. Make your posts and invite people. It feels so weird. I still get nervous, but once you kind of break the ice and like send your first 10 invites, then I just kept going, just kept inviting and inviting and inviting. And people say no all the time. But it's like it's a mindset of not letting that fear creep back in. And if you want it, you can do it. And like Christy said, it's being yourself. Like, I'm also a perfectionist, and I'm like, oh, my post isn't good enough, or I don't have makeup on, or whatever. But if I'm speaking from my heart and leading with that, and not trying to, really copy other people and just be me, it's going to attract the right people to you, because you don't want to be me or somebody else. You want to be you, and people are going to like it, and some people aren't. So patience for sure is a big one, and not letting the fear get in the way of not letting you reach your potential. Because I would have never, like I said a month ago, I would have never imagined making Success Club. I did last month, and I think I think I did this month, which is, I guess, a big accomplishment. Wasn't sure how that all works, but it's just, I've put my heart into it, and I kick the excuses out. And the other thing, like I keep saying, is community. Having the girls to lean on is huge. But I'm telling you, I would never dream of doing this. I did, but I wouldn't actually do it. So I mean, that's just a little bit. I don't know what else maybe you wanted me to touch on, or is that good?
No, yeah, that's perfect. I just didn't want to cut you off too soon. And so thank you so much. And I love, like, Amanda and I are alike in that, like, we went all in with this business with that all or nothing mentality. You guys, and that's up to you. While I do feel like the sooner you jump in and start sharing your journey, like, it's only going to hold you that much more accountable to your own results. And then you never know who you're inspiring along the way. Because so oftentimes we're like, oh, we're waiting till we have some massive transformation and some, like, start and stops, but that's not it. It's about the journey, you guys. Like, people need to know, like, what we're doing, and that's, like I said, last night even I had donuts, and that's part of my journey. I'm not gonna try, like, I act like I have it all together all the time. I'm still a hot mess, but I love, the just prioritizing my health and fitness and just failing forward through that, even now 6.5 years later. So I love that she shared that, and she talked about Success Club. That's a whole nother story once, we get to that point. And I know some of you are, new coaches. You just got started. So I just really strongly encourage you. I know Beachbody Corporate sends out videos, as well as I'm actually in the process of revamping and doing a new coach checklist and getting a group for that. So we'll love to get you plugged into that, because I'm really all about simplifying. And that's one thing I told Amanda when she got started. Like, she was trying to soak in all the things, which is great. But sometimes we just have to tap the brakes, hit pause, and just implement one dang thing at a time. Because if not, we're just taking in all the information, all the information, all the information, and then we're just so freaking overwhelmed. Like, where the heck do I even start? So just one thing at a time, those bite-sized chunks. You guys, that's what I say. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, or whatever. But we just have to remember, in this journey, ultimately, it's not about us. Yes, it is about being the healthiest version of ourselves from the inside out, but even more so, it's for those who need us. It's for that other mom who's struggling to find her purpose. She feels alone. She feels isolated. It's for those who are working in a job that they don't feel is their purpose. They're not feeling fulfilled in that. They're just clocking in and clocking out for corporate America day in and day out. And just going to home every night, just like dreading. The next day it's Sunday night, and I'm freaking so pumped up for tomorrow. I love Mondays, but not everybody has that. They're like dreading the weekend to end. And I'm grateful that I no longer live that lifestyle. So it's for our families who are counting on us to show up for them. We're not just going and giving and doing all the things, and then we're so stressed and burnt out to the freaking max that we're leaving our family, like we say all the time. And you may have heard the saying, I cannot take credit for it, but our families deserve the best of us, not the rest of us. And they're only going to get that best portion of us if we're willing to show up and lean in to investing into the best version of ourselves. Self care is not selfish, it is essential, you guys. And then we're able to pour that love from that overflow. If we're empty, how are we benefiting anybody else? Like, we're not. So it's just that mentality, that mindset shift that we have to make. So I hope you found some inspiration from this call. We're getting up on the 30-minute mark. So I do want to wrap things up right here. But for those that are the new coaches, congratulations. Lean in, get plugged into our team. Like Amanda said, one step at a time. We've got all the tools, we got all the trainings, all the resources. They're all there. And like, one thing, reach out to us for help. We are here for you. You are not on this journey alone. And if you're not yet a coach, then reach out to your coach on how to get started. Whether you're a current member for the completion packs or new members for the challenge packs. Off the Wall launches tonight or first thing in the morning. And that is our new program for Control Freak. I'm biased. I think you should have that track on the wall right there. It's rocking my world. It's working muscles I never even knew I had. And I got my thermogun, and it is, I'm loving life right now. It is, giving me, so much. But there's so many different options to meet you where you're at in your own journey. So we're here for you. Thank you so much, ladies, for jumping on tonight and sacrificing your time throughout the Super Bowl. Go whoever your team is, if that's your thing. And we're excited to talk more with you. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. So y'all take care, and we will chat soon. All right. Bye, you guys.